Hey guys, welcome to this new session on Wildroot. It's an intro to PvP, so the first thing to start off, you need to know all your abilities. I know every single one here, what their keybind is, what they're keybound to, and how to use them correctly in a fight. To fully get a good understanding of where your abilities are, you're going to need to not interact with them with your mouse. So a good add-on to use is Bartender. Now the first step is locking your bars. Just hit the button lock at the top of the panel. Now lock your bars and you won't be able to pick up an ability. It makes it so that you don't pull off something. Next you're going to want to be clicking the click through button on the panel. And what that will do is where you can't interact with your mouse on those. That means you can't go in mid-arena and be like, oh, what's this do? Click, 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 click. And next, I'm actually going to hide the hotkeys, because that forces me to know where everything is. If I don't know where it is, I can look at my bar and I'll be like, oh, okay, I see where it is on the bar, but I can't do anything. So that makes me have to either use my motor skills for it, or not be able to use it. So your brain will train itself to use motor skills. Easily done, and a lot cleaner than clicking things in Arena. Gear is another very big part that plays into Arena. Right now I have 3,253 resilience. That's about 35% damage reduced. Now that's going to keep me alive a lot longer than 1,000 resilience is. See, gear is very important in Arena. If you don't have the gear, you'll die, and it costs honor points like justice points and conquest points, like all these other things to get gear to. It's a similar currency. If you don't have the gear, then you won't gain, because you need that survivability. And you can't blame your partner for not having it. So the healer may not be able to heal you very much, because you're dying while he's in a CC train. And that's what most comps that are efficiently working are doing. They're CC training people. And if you don't have the gear level to survive through those CC trains, you're gonna get rocked. So you need that gear. Another very important thing in Arena is movement. You want to be able to move efficiently, quickly, swiftly, and in a way that won't get you killed. If that means you gotta jump during a boss fight so you don't get killed by a ground away, you jump. But that also means not keyboard turning. You need to turn with your mouse, use A and D to strafe. If you turn with A and D, that sucks for you. Keybind that to left and right strafe. The only things I have for my turn is my arrow keys. It isn't a big deal, though, with that. You can completely take out the turning. If you don't strafe, you will die. You cannot catch up to people that do, because you have to manually turn with your keys and then go. You need to strafe there. Strafing helps you keep your back or your front to a feral druid or somebody that wants to get behind you and move, and just getting somewhere faster. And then you need to turn and move with your mouse too. It's a very weird thing to do, but you need to. It's definitely some people's uncomfortable zone, but it's small things like that that will improve your performance greatly. And now one of the other most important parts of PvP is keybinds. Now for this layout, you're going to want to keep your 1 to 6 keys normal on your bar. You're going to then remacro your Q, E, R, and T key to your normal 1 to 7 buttons. W and S is going to be forward and backwards. A is going to be your left strafe. D is going to be your right strafe, and F and G is going to be your 11 and 12 key. That will fill out one whole bar for you. Now then you're going to have your Control, Shift, and Alt modifiers. When you're using modifiers with the keys, you're going to want to do Control, Shift, and Alt 1 to 6. You're not going to want to do Control, Shift, Alt, so let's say Control Q, Control D, or Control D, or Control F, or G, or one of those other abilities, because 1 to 6 is straightforward. That gives you 18 other possible abilities. That's 30 different buttons. If you need more keys, a mouse, or even further macroing is worth it. But unless, you can definitely go with Q, R, T, E, F, and G, and all that stuff. But not if you don't have that many keys. You can also get a mouse that has extra keys, or something else. It's really not worth it. Like I said, it's really just not worth it unless you have more keys that you need. Most classes aren't going to be using 40 plus keys. Death Knights, Priests, Druids might be an exception, maybe Mages, but definitely Warlocks. You only need PvP on it. Don't think of, oh, well, I need to summon my imp if you're a Demo Warlock. Take that off your bar. Use keys how you need to. You should also have a bar set up for keys that you can definitely click on. That's just for like pets, or use Opie like I do for a couple of abilities. Buffs, stuff like that should never clutter your bar. You should always have it full of abilities. The last part of a clean PvPer is a unit interface that is clean. The default built-in one is a very clean, simple one. I used that for a couple years, during, well, about a year during Wrath. It worked really well on my work. I didn't need to do anything big. On my Death Knight, I do find I have more macros and abilities that I can use effectively in player versus player. You need to be able to use your abilities whenever you can, on ease, on access, without even thinking. You need to be able to see your target's health, your pet's health. When I get close to somebody, their health turns this reddish, I don't know a way to explain it. Their bar above them turns just red, and I know it's an enemy, and it has their casts, their dots that they're casting, my dots on them. I believe it even has a buff, if it's an important buff they have on it, so I can look at all this stuff and be like, bam, I know what they have. And these are things that you need to be ready for, and you need to have. If you don't have it, you're not going to be able to make it through. If you have a messy UI that overlaps, you're not going to see the information that you need to at the time. These are a couple things you need to be able to do. Guys, it is time to wrap up though. Thank you for watching. This has been a pretty long video, almost 9 minutes, but I guess it was worth it. Hopefully you guys have learned from this. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.